Well, hey, welcome to the workshop. It's been a while since I've given an update on the Bearcat project, but it's been for good reason. I have been doing other things, as well as been very, very busy with work. I apologize for the audio quality on this video. I couldn't get my microphone to work, and of course it's still cold outside, so the furnace is going in the background. But despite that, we're going to get through this together, and I'll give you guys an update. The first thing I want to go over is that what I haven't been doing on the Bearcat, I've been doing on other things. So I have a club member who wanted me to build out an ARF for him. It's the Great Plains Ryan STA, and I took that as an opportunity to get to know my shop a little bit better, and it turned out great. It flew great. I did have one little boo-boo on it, but it doesn't matter. He was perfectly happy with the way that I assembled the airplane. And with that, I just moved on to have so much work going, and I just did not have any energy to get into the shop. But as of late, I have, so let's go over it. So right away, the first thing you're going to notice on the Bearcat is I don't have the wings. That's because I don't have the wings currently out. I've not been working on them. On the business end here, we have the Flight Test Monster Radial motor. It is a 4030 can with a 510 kV. I've been testing this one for almost a year now, and I got to tell you, I'm still impressed with this motor. So that's going to be swinging our 4-blade prop. I have the FR Sky Neuron 80 amp ESC, so that should give me plenty of telemetry data and get some interesting things going on. That's all been put on a Great Plains medium-sized motor mount. The reason I went with the motor mount of this size was because I needed the depth, and I didn't want to have to cut anything. I need a pretty minimal amount of extension, but I still wanted it robust, and the Great Plains option is a very good one for that. Now, I did go ahead and modify the sides of the fuselage to have the exhaust ports come out. That was a pretty simple modification, just a couple of cuts with the razor saw and reinforcements with some balsa wood. I've sanded everything down and, of course, glassed it, but that was not until, clearly, I'm missing a piece here. I'm missing the hatch. It's because the hatch is getting some test paint over in the corner right now. So I've gone over this on the forums before, but I thought today I might do a little bit of explanation. How I do my hatches on these electric conversions is pretty easy in my opinion. So if you notice in here, these are the stock stringers that come from the balsa kit when it was originally built. And going through the back underneath the wing, I was able to wiggle my hands in here and poke T-pins approximately where I needed them to come through right up against these rails. So with the T-pins marking my reference points, I was able to draw straight lines for where I was going to cut here. And then with the cowl mounting ring on, I determined I wanted about an inch on the leading edge, and then I cut an angle so that the hatch could just slide right on, and it fixes with a magnet on the hatch that connects directly here. I did have to create these ply pieces and do some reinforcement on the hatch itself. It is pretty minimal work, but it's a seamless fit and it works very, very well. So with glass work, I'm using sanding sealer again. The sanding sealer, it dries really quick. It's not very stinky. It cleans up really easy. So I was able to take time yesterday or earlier in this week and cover the whole fuselage with fiberglass, including the rudder and the the vertical stabilizer and the horizontal stabilizers. And it's all glassed. I took some time today and sanded it all down. That's why my shirt's all messy. And it's coming along. It's coming along pretty well. I also received some retracts this week. I received these retracts from Hobby King, probably about the cheapest thing I could find that handled a decent amount of weight. They're rated up to around 22 pounds, but they're still plastic. I don't know if I really trust that weight measurement, but given that our airplane is only going to be 9 pounds, it should be sufficient for what we need. And I'm recycling parts that I have left over from other airplanes as part of outfitting this project, and these are Oleo struts from the P-47 project that you remember last year. These are the stock ones that come with it. They're not very fancy, but they work. And they are made out of good quality steel and aluminum. Looks like steel tube with aluminum cord with a spring in it. So I'm going to use these just because other stuff that I have isn't nearly as robust. And frankly, I have one of the roughest landing strips that you're going to come across. So I just want to fly this thing. I want to fly it, and I want to fly it hard and fly it often. So I'm just trying to make things as robust as possible. So next up, now that everything is sanded on the fuselage, I have to mask everything off because it's time to prime this. I'm going to mask off the cockpit area. I'll mask off the hatch area. I'll mask off the wing saddle, and I'll also mask off the control U-joint for the elevator as well. You know, I've already got servos in here for the rudder and elevator, so I just need to protect all of those electronics for the painting and sanding because it gets pretty dusty. So I'll do some white primer, and it's going to be about a navy blue. It's not quite navy; it's a little bit off of navy, but it's a color that I enjoy, and I think it's going to look pretty good in the sunlight too. It's not a high gloss. I don't believe in high gloss finishes because high gloss finishes are for show planes. It's not something that the military actually did, so I generally prefer not to do that. That being said, while the painting and the priming and sanding and all of that stuff is going down on the fuselage, I will be moving my attention toward the wing. I have been able to remove part of the wing, the old fixed gear landing mount area, and I have a plan for mounting these retracts, and it should be pretty straightforward. That being said, I'm not going to get into that too much right now. I don't want to get too technical because I don't have anything really to explain or show you. So I'm trying to do more. It's been a challenge lately because of work. But thank you so much for stopping by the workshop. If you're new to the workshop today, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you found something beneficial, learned a technique or two, and I'm going to try to keep going on this flying work of art.